I hope this works. Boy. Hello, hello. To be honest, I can't tell if I'm live or not yet. I am trying something new. If you guys can't tell. Huh. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're doing good. Are we doing alright? Is this showing up okay? Or is it very laggy? Let me know. Let me know all the things, because I have no way to tell, to be honest. Hey to Havlin, hey Kawan. There we go. Yeah, I hope this is working okay. Aw, thanks, Kaiwan. But yeah, let me know if everything's working okay. I am trying something new. I'm using my phone to live stream, but also my computer at the same time. Hey, Mecob. To me, it's looking kind of glitchy when I look at the live stream. Maybe it's looking the same for you guys. I'm clear? Okay. Audio's okay too? Because I think I have my old... This is the microphone that I usually use that you guys usually can't see. But it's always right here in the spot. It's just that my camera has a wide lens, so... The camera's clearer than usual though, right? Like this is like better, I hope. I would hope so anyway. But yeah, thanks for the love, guys. It's been a fever dream, like this whole week. Audio's okay? Okay, sounds good. But yeah, it's been a week. I go back to work tomorrow. I took the whole week off from work just to A, prepare for the show, and B, not have any other stress added on to the chaos that was throwing the show in the first place. Your camera on the computer got the old YouTube field from the 2009. Like the one like from previous streams, or this one? No, I'm not live streaming this this Thursday. You can see the silver hat. I'm not streaming this Thursday. Just this is just like a check-in stream. So we'll live stream Sunday, and we'll do like the classic General Hospital after show, and then Wednesday next week we're back to the reactions, like the midweek live streams as well. I'm just trying to slowly ease my way back into like normal life again. So this is like the soft launch of like everything again. You can see my silver hat. Yes. Actually, my bass player rocked this hat for the show, which was really funny, and it rocked the like the sparkly top in the mesh, which was like the same thing that I wore for the I'm Doing Highlight Festival poster that they posted, which is funny. So that fit was represented at the show, and I was just in something completely different. A sparkly sequenced sort of low chest shirt that I wore, which was like, it looked really good. I thought it looked good, and a lot of people did as well. But it is a bitch to put on, and let me tell you, trying to sort that out onto my person. Oh, that's cool, Kaiwan. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about GH2 after we kind of like touch base and I fill you in on all the things that went down leading up to the show and the show itself and the aftermath. And I'm just stoked to just share it with you guys. You guys have been so supportive on, you know, any community posts that I've made. And yeah, the single's out too now, which is really cool. The drummer of yours be killing it. AJ is the bomb, man. He is awesome. I mean, obviously you guys only seen little clips of the show that I posted on here. Actually, someone video blogged the show as well, and I'll kind of segue into that conversation in a bit. But yeah, it was a whirlwind, you guys. Like rehearsals, we've been rehearsing since the end of February. We had, they learned the tracks pretty quickly, which I was grateful for because not that I had any doubts because they've all been musicians for a really long time. But me having never worked with a band before, there was so much stuff that I didn't know that goes into everything from like, how they count themselves in, and when we were working with backtracks and stuff, because we had the harmonies as well as certain instruments that we didn't have on the stage with us in the backtracks, and there were rehearsals where it didn't work, which was really scary because like a lot of the songs have callbacks that like the song wouldn't make sense without them. But thankfully on the day of the show it really came together. The backtracks worked and they were clear, and yeah. I mean, the week of, or like, the few days leading up to it, it wasn't without drama, okay? I don't want to get into too much details, but my bass player almost had to back out for some personal stuff that he had going on, like just a couple days before the show, and he ended up having to leave the province for like a minute. And so we had to get like a backup bass player. My drummer, AJ, actually was in a band with him called Castles back in the day. So he recommended him. His name is Rob. He agreed to do it. And then the day of, the morning of the show, Ray, my actual bass player, came back. I just, there was like always that possibility that he would, but I didn't want to chance that, you know what I mean? So I had to message Rob and be like, I'm so sorry, I didn't expect him to be back. He didn't expect to be back. But he just drove 9 hours to be here. So, and Rob was actually very gracious about it. And he still came to the show to support, so it was really cool. Yeah, I was not a famous underground R&B singer. That said, play the band. First play the band. Do the gig second. Really, Miko? That's awesome. Yay. No, I've gotten a lot of great feedback on the song. I think that was the song I was most excited to perform for the show. And it was the last song that we performed as well, because it was a new single, and the single was coming out midnight that night. So it was like a cool way to end the show. And the band, not the day of the show, but maybe the second last rehearsal before the show, my band had sort of added in out of nowhere like a breakdown after the song finished. And we weren't gonna originally end the show on the new single. We were gonna have a song after that, and when they added the breakdown, I was like, no, the show ends here. We have 8 songs. We'll do that. We'll, instead of 9, we'll do the 8th song, end it there, and it'll end on a high note. Because the last song was like kind of emotional, and I didn't want to like kind of, you know, dampen the vibe. And I was having second thoughts on ending it with that song anyway, like even before. So it was like it all came together, and it was just really cool to experience. Just watching the band be able to just do that on a whim. It was crazy, and I don't know. I just have so much respect for Ray and for Bernie and for AJ, for what they do, because a lot of hard work goes into it. And you know, I only see when we all come together as rehearsals, as a band, as a whole, but you know, they're practicing at home probably, you know, every day, trying to nail all the songs, and they were truly invested in my show succeeding. So I really felt like I was in good hands the whole time. I'm not taken, but I'm also happily single and not looking. I'm good. I'm flattered though. I'll take it. But yeah, it was really cool. Obviously the last couple days leading to the show were stressful because of, you know, worrying about, well, first of all, what my bass player was going through, and having to just trust that that Rob, the bass player that we got, would be able to pull it off in a couple of days. AJ reassured me, and so did Rob. I had never met Rob before, so I was like, you know, me meeting him would be like the day of the show, having not rehearsed all together. So it was just like trusting that, but he didn't have to. And I felt bad because he took the time to learn the songs, right? So I did say that I want him to play my second show. I think it's only fair, you know, like, and also he seems like a really cool dude. Hey, Nikisha. But yeah, it was a cool experience overall, and just learning like what the stresses are and what the payoff can be and everything. The whole thing was just like the best. I don't know. I think, well, first of all, I also had so many friends in that room. If you've seen the clip, everyone dancing, I knew everyone on that dance floor, which is crazy. You know, all like my friends showed up. The only ones that couldn't were my boys in Calling All Captains. They were the band that I flew to Montreal to see, that are obviously from Edmonton. But they had their show on the same night. Oh, to be that young again. I don't want to be that young again. I didn't like being that young. Think back to like my just how we're still pretty much children at that age too, you know what I mean? But yeah, so like I said, the Calling All Captains guys, they couldn't be at the show, but the singer Luke, he stopped by before the show on his way to his show to wish me luck, which is really sweet. And then I feel kind of bad about this, but as soon as I was done my set, because I was the opener, right? There was 3 other bands after me. I didn't watch their sets, so I could quickly run and get to Captain's show. So I got to see my boys anyway, all together at the end of the night, and they hugged me and congratulated me, which was really cool. Did you get the performance high after? Oh my god, yes. I did not sleep. I think I went to bed finally at like 5:30. Thanks, Nathan. yeah, like 5:30 a.m. I went to bed. And it's not like I was like out partying all night, you guys. Like, you know, I did go out drinking with friends after, down the street. But that finished at like 3. Not even 3, 2:30. And I just got home and I just stayed up. And of course I wanted to watch like footage from my show because my mom was there and she filmed pretty much everything. And you know, I wanted to see how I looked because I had no idea if I looked confident or not. I don't know. I got all good feedback, and you know, I asked for honesty, and everyone was very nice. I'm hard on myself when it comes to anything I do, so you know, it takes me a minute to kind of accept a compliment, let alone accept that they're not bullshitting and things like that. I think I could have done better vocally, but I was so nervous as well. They said no, like I sounded okay, but I'm like, no, I definitely was flat in certain parts. Let's be real. But also I could not hear myself, and that's just like a regular thing that people go through in these sort of dive bar venues with, you know, the crowd can hear me, but I can't hear me. So, you know, my goal for my next show is to hopefully have in-ears so I can hear myself a bit better. But you know, I guess I pulled it off for what it was worth. And I don't know. I just it was a really cool thing. And I forget if I mentioned, maybe I didn't mention this in a previous stream, but my old roommate who currently lives in Ontario flew into town and came to my show, which meant the world to me because I haven't seen him in like 11 years. So it was a long time. So that was really nice. And having my mom and grandmother there, not that I'm complaining. I wouldn't expect them not to come to my first show. But it was really it was really awkward because some of the songs were kind of sexual, and I had to like grab my crotch and like flirt with the people in the audience, and that's ironically the one song that they didn't film. But also I didn't want to upload all of the footage either because, you know, there's future shows and future content to put out. It's all good, Sandy. I'm glad you're here. We're just chit-chatting about my concert. But yeah, and again, the coolest thing was just having so many of my friends there. And they're, like I said, a lot of my friends are musicians. Of course, my best friend Amber was there. She was my photographer for a lot of the photos that you've seen of me lately. Like the photo shoot photos were all her. I had people that used to work with me at the amusement park there that I haven't hung out with in ages, and I had, again, a lot of the musicians that I know, and even musicians that I wouldn't even expect to show up for me, which, like, just, it really did my heart good. And you know, a lot of people asked if I was nervous. I wasn't. I'm not nervous to get on a stage and like make an ass of myself. You know, I did drama in high school, and when I was a kid, I did perform in like competitions and community halls and stuff, like with my like my vocal lessons sort of school, because they'd send us to like different malls and stuff and places to perform at. But that's really doing like cover songs and like me and a keyboard, like never with a band behind me. So it was still a whole new ball game. That's why I consider this my first show. And also, like, when that era was happening, I was like 13 years old, and I'm in my 30s. So it's essentially my first show all over again. I think the thing that moved me the most that night, and it didn't really hit me till morning because I think the adrenaline was just rushing through me, and I couldn't even process anything until like the middle of the next day. But the person that threw Highlight Festival, one of the people, Dexter, he comes up to me after my show, and he was just like, holy shit, Dion. He's like, I've seen a lot of first shows for bands, and yours was so like seamless and it flowed together. And he said something to the effect of like, you strike me as someone that has studied, not only gone to show, but studied how shows work and how things should line up and go, and how to speak and lead into each song. And that felt really good. And I don't know if he's correct on that I've studied it. I think it's just that I've been to a lot of shows, and of course I have my inspirations and see how people that I idolize do their shows. So I kept that in mind, because I was like, well, if I want a show, I want to do what they're doing. So I kind of kept that in mind. The thing he was most stoked on was the outro of the show, which, like I said, my band does a breakdown at the end of the single, and I had used kind of the space at the original end of the song to thank Highlight Festival, thank Black Bar for hosting my show, thank the bands that were coming up, and, you know, say goodnight, and then go into the breakdown. And he's like, that was, he just was like so stoked on that. He's like, I don't know how you like that, how you did that for your first show, and how you seemed so confident. And I'm like, I faked it, dude. I'm like, I'm not super confident, but I can fake it when I have to. And again, it's not like I was nervous. It's just like, this is my first gig, and whatever happens, happens. And that was kind of the mind frame that I had going into it. I was just like, you know, at this point, I've done everything I needed to do to prepare. The band has done everything they needed to do to prepare. If mistakes happen, they happen. Oh yeah, to hear my song on the radio is so cool. Yeah. Well, it's funny because we submit the songs, right? But the thing about the show that it was on, they were kind of promoting Highlight Festival. And you have to remember, like, Highlight Festival, there's 35 bands. And that show itself is like an hour long, right? And so at most they're playing 6 songs, because they're also interviewing Alyssa, who was also one of the people that put Highlight Festival together, and my friend Lisa, who was in Violet Riot, who flew in from Victoria to be here. She was from Edmonton, but she had moved there, came back to do the festival, and they were just kind of talking about Highlight and everything that goes into it and what they want to achieve with it. And I was listening for Lisa. I went into there thinking, like, you know, with all the bands that, like, all of them submitted their stuff, the odds of me hearing mine are slim to none. So I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just like kind of kicking back and enjoying the interview, and then they played my song at the last. They saved my song for last, which was insane. And I guess they're going to be doing radio shows the next few weeks to talk about Highlight still, even though it's already over, and just showcase all these artists' latest songs. And plus, the host, I know, did a lot of interviews with the bands, with other bands that were performing throughout the week. So I did not do an interview with her. Mostly because I also, you guys have to remember that I also do this thing called Music in YAG, where I am filming these bands' performances most nights. My night, of course, I literally ran off to see my friends play down the street, and then the other nights I'm capturing all the other bands, and the other shows after my show, there was no breaks in between. Like, there was nothing. So, and plus, when they were happening, like, she'd have to try to get herself in there to interview the bands that just got off the stage, because that's the only chance she's gonna get. And so it didn't work out for me, but I'm okay with that. I don't even know how I would do in like an interview setting. Like, you guys know I've been on James Slott Jr.'s show before. So like, that was nerve-wracking in itself. And And that's me talking about GH, something that I know very well, and even that was nerve-wracking. Me having to be interviewed about my own stuff and why I do the things I do and all this, I don't know how I do in that. We'd have to see. First time for everything, but it didn't work out this time, and I'm okay with that. I was still kind of riding the high of of just getting up there and performing. But yeah, and to that end, going back on the things that Dexter was saying about how I pulled off my first show, he's invited me to open up for one of his bands. He's in a few bands, sometime in the summer, TBD, in a much bigger venue, in a renowned venue that is like very loved in Edmonton, and it's like a dream to perform there. Honestly, I would love to. So here's hoping, fingers crossed. And Dexter also has a radio show, by the way, and he did say he was going to play my song on there too. I don't know when, but he has the song, so we shall see. But yeah, it was a great week and a tiring week as well. The shows, there were 5 days in a row, 5 shows, all several hours long. You don't perform like you're nervous, though. You don't look so into it. No, like I said, I'm not nervous on the stage. I just I'm like, I don't know what I look like. Is the thing. So like that, I'm like, whatever is gonna happen on that stage is gonna happen. But I just, it's very hard to sort of plan what I'll do on the stage, especially because I didn't really know. Even though I was rehearsing at home, you guys seen some shorts that I've uploaded, but I have no way of knowing how much walking room I had, and I didn't really have any at all. And it's a dive bar essentially, and you guys seen the people are like right in front of me. There's not a whole lot of space to move. Hey, Jacarius. But yeah, it worked out. But I had to improvise a lot of like what I wanted to do. So I'd love to work on a stage that has a bit more room, so I can kind of pull off what I wanted to do. So I had to be quick on my feet for certain things at that venue. But yeah, needless to say, it was honestly the best week of my life, and I don't want to get choked up, but I was just really grateful for the experience, and I'd love to do it again. And even Dexter, he said, like, once you do it once, you won't want to stop, and I don't want to stop. I mean, it's been my dream to perform my own material and have a band behind me and have people enjoy it. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Oh, I'm glad I looked really sexy. I'm glad to hear it. I'm shy about that too. But you guys, like all the shows, I really tried to up my like fashion game. Not even appearing on the stage, just appearing at the shows to check out the venue, to really sort of give off that, oh, he's an artist vibe. So now I had to try out my fashion. Even today, I'm rocking the hat. And I'm rocking some beads. You can't really tell on the camera, but they're mini disco balls. Maybe you can if I do this. They're mini disco balls. And this is one of the necklaces I wore on the stage as well, while my bass player wore this hat, and I wore this hat, of course, black hat. And actually, my drummer and my guitarist still have the other hats that they wore, because they all wore sparkly hats. We just made it a thing because honestly, for music and YEG, the content that I do for local music, the hat was a thing for a very long time, and I had stopped wearing them for a bit. And everyone was always asking, like, where's the hat? So I was like, you know what? Well, let's just all wear these damn hats so that they stop talking about it. They'd be mad if I didn't, honestly. Make sure I savor every second. Oh, I did. I feel like during the performance itself, it felt like I blacked out and I had like almost no memory of any of it. Not that I was drinking or anything. I saved that for after the show. But it was like an out of body experience where I just kind of had to like let go of like every thought around me and just do the thing. And so like I could like in my head I had like brief memories of like, oh, Terrence and Oliver are dancing in front of me, and I can see like my old coworkers, you know, sitting down in the back jamming out. I see, you know, Dexter's dad with his camera out, and I see Terrence bring his camera out. Rob was there and he video blogged it, so there's a video blog out there that shows somewhat of behind the scenes of mostly AJ, to be honest, because they were in a band together, but there's obviously bits and pieces of my performance as well. It was just a blur of seconds where I caught people, and like the one thing I do remember like having a mental thought about was like, I really don't want to look at my mom and grandmother while I'm performing sexual stuff. So like, because I can only imagine the looks that they were giving when I grabbed my crotch or pointed at a person and said, "Let me take you to bed," or like, you know, just I don't know. I just that was the one mental thought that I had of like, I can't look at them. So I was just like, any direction that wasn't them. And I think my grandmother was sitting down, so she was easy to miss anyway. My mom was standing up filming the entire time, except for the one sexual song. Nikisha, you said I performed spoken word. It's definitely like an out-of-body experience. I'm glad you got it recorded. I love spoken word. And Sabrina does that too, hey? Sabrina Talks GH. But yeah, we used to have a really cool, like, spoken word bar downtown, but it closed down. But me and my mom would go there when it was open. It was really cool. But every now and then I'll see the people that were in the bar doing their thing, and they're always at local music shows. So, you know, I was kind of like, you know, we acknowledge each other, like, well, I remember you. Like James always says, you never know who's watching you and listening. That this is true. You truly never know. And actually, so even like the days after when I was checking out the other shows for Highlight Festival, just having other bands come up to me and be like, hey, I heard your single is really cool. Some people that I didn't know personally, and of course people that I did know personally that gave it a listen, and like that was cool. Especially the people that I had never met before. And even like I met a fan at my show who like came up to me after the show, and she's like, I follow you on IG and all this stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this is so freaking cool. And I recognized her too, just because, well, like, obviously I have a lot of friends that follow me, but when it's not a friend, it's like, who are you? So I creep a little bit. And I don't have that many followers on my music handles, so they're easy to spot for now. Hopefully it grows, we'll see. But yeah. And also, like, musicians that I really respect that I've never known personally coming up to me and saying compliments about the song was cool. And I appreciate that, because when I had recorded the demo for this song, you guys know that I like always put my demos on YouTube. You guys know, you've been around long enough, you see it all the time. When I had recorded the demo for I Don't Like You But I Love You, I had a really good feeling about that song, and so I didn't upload it to YouTube. And the feedback that I've gotten for the song has just like warmed my heart, because I was like, I trusted my instincts on this one to put it out as a single, and like that felt really good. To have people impressed and like didn't see it coming, and I don't know, it was just really nice and really reassuring that I know what I want to sound like as an artist. I know what I want to do on a stage show as an artist, and to hear people kind of cop that is like super dope to just sort of process that, like, hey, I can really do this thing and be the artist that I want to be, and it comes across and people understand and they get it and they love it and they want to see more. And even Dexter, he's like, when you hit a bigger stage, go all out, like just be as crazy as like I know you want to be on a bigger stage, and like get fog machines and get zany costumes for everyone. And I was like, well, that's no problem, because I like being a little bit bat-ish crazy when I can be. And also, you guys know that I had like a cough like for God knows how long, and by a miracle the day before it subsided, and that was like my biggest worry too. I was stressed out about that as well. But it's finally gone, although my allergies are kicking in because it's spring now, and so like there's a cough, somewhat of a cough stemming from that. But only like in the morning when I have like the sinus pain and the stuffed nose, and then I just take a couple pills and it's gone. Thanks to Havlin. And you know, when I did those plays with those kids, people sometimes recognize me for the plays and those kids while I work, and I like yeah, it's really cool to be recognized in that way. I'm kind of like low-key worried that like someone from that was at one of the shows is just gonna be like, hey, while I'm at work. But actually, one of my coworkers' bands was in Highlight Festival as well. Not like, doesn't work me in my actual job. We work in the same building, and we've known each other for like over 10 years now. And it was really cool to like meet up with him after, and he like comes up to me and he tells me that he shows his other he showed his other workers in his department the clips from my show, and they were just so stoked. And I was like, oh man. So now like these people who I don't know that well, like his coworkers, I kind of see in the hallways a little bit here and there, and sometimes we're like, well, that's it, like so I'm gonna be like, oh, you've seen me do my thing on a little video now, so that'll be like weird but cool, I guess. Yeah, I'm still like trying to process a lot of this, and you guys, I'm not even kidding, like the day after my show I cried so many times just because I was like, I really did it, I really crossed something off of my bucket list that I've wanted since I was a kid. And that's just like, you know, it's a rare thing, and because I've always put off performing, just because I don't know, I just didn't have the guts to like try, you know, and it wasn't until the end of last year that I really was like, you know what, just like get the ball rolling. Submit yourself in a show and see what happens. And I did, because I was like, what are the odds that I'll even be let in when they don't know I don't have a band. I've never performed live before, and Dexter just decided to give me that chance. And I feel so lucky, because like not everyone gets a chance to do their first show at a music festival. And also that there's some pressure on that as well, but I think I needed that sort of fire on my ass to be like, okay, I need a band, and to reach out to my friends that are musicians. Ray, you know, he made a promise like years ago, like 2017 years ago, saying like, if you ever do your first show, I want to play in your first show. And he did. And then Bernie, I asked, and he, with no hesitation, said absolutely. And then AJ approached me when I was putting the word out there that I'm looking for band members. So like I made like a Facebook status, and he was the first to be like, I'm in if you'll have me. So I was like, then I have a band. And then it was learning like, okay, well we need a jam space, and Colton, this guy who is in the band Violet Riot, my friend Lisa is in, and they shared my bass player as well for a while. Let us use his jam space when he could get us in, and it was crazy. Do you feel like you have to work out, keep up your cardio in order to perform? Probably yes. I do that anyway. I work out every morning. Well, not every morning. Like 5 days a week I work out. And I made sure that I stuck to it. Because I was like, the music is high energy and I'll need that going into it. And I'm glad that I did, because I do feel a lot more energetic, and I needed that. Now, God forbid if I have to if I have a bigger stage and have to move around a lot more, it's gonna take you a lot more energy, and I think I'll have to, figure out how to be even vocally stronger. While I'm jumping around and doing all those things, because of course I'm going to be out of breath. But yeah, it's been it was an experience, and I learned so much about what goes into it and what's necessary, and the sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm tired. I'm blanking out, but like just you just have to be consistent, and stay focused, and make sure you're as prepared as you can be, so that if anything goes wrong, you're not gonna panic about it. And to that end, there was one song that we did that there was a mistake made. But like the good news is no one knows what these songs. Most of these people haven't heard the other songs besides my single Madness, and yeah, that was really it. The single Madness is probably all they've heard. So it was fine, and I did my best, because like there was backtracks on there too, and I was like, well, once they hear that we're once the band hears that there's a slightly off moment, they'll fix themselves, and they did, and then it was fine. So I don't think anyone noticed. No one seemed to. Now, if they played back the performance and then went onto YouTube and found the song Freak Show, then they might be like, oh yeah, they did mess up. But for now, it is what it is. All right. But yeah, just to finish things off on the music front, great experience, beautiful experience. I'm so glad I did it. I'm so proud of myself for doing it and just being able to have that opportunity. The only thing I'm like, I guess, a little bit sad about, I'm not really in contact with my dad anymore, you guys. I haven't been in years. I do talk about him from time to time, but we just lost contact, and just over some BS that he pulled years back. But I think there is a part of me that wants to be like, hey, I'm weirdly following in your footsteps. Not that we're remotely into the same kind of music at all. He is not a punk pop dude. In fact, he's more like a Motown falsetto guy. But I had blocked him on all the things. My siblings, like his other kids, like that I do talk to, they seen the clips. They gassed me up and were proud of me, and they've heard the song and all that. And even we talked about my dad, and my brother was like, F David, he who cares? But yeah, I don't know. I know somewhere inside maybe you can fix it. I don't really have a good relationship with my father. Yes, Kaiwa. That's why I'm wrapping up the music conversation. We're gonna spend the last 10 minutes of the stream talking all about GH because we're slow burning it back to regular programming. I'll tell you all the things. Because that's like the main thing that I want to talk about, honestly. In terms of GH. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll unblock him on all the things and reach out and be like, and just send him the clip. The clips from the show. We'll see. And you guys have to know, like, I have not physically seen my dad since I was 3 years old. Okay, though, like, we mostly had an online relationship. He's out in Japan. I've not gone there. He's not come here. I don't have my dad's number. I never did. We only talked online. Sandy. But yeah. Hello, Enrique. But yeah. So, needless to say, beautiful experience. I cannot wait to get back on a stage and do it all again. And maybe even do it even better. And on a bigger stage. So I can kind of have my vision come even more to life. Because now the groundwork is there. We know the songs. We know the vibe. We know it works. And now we just need the opportunity to pull it off in a bigger way. All right, GH. Let me. Obviously, on Sunday we're gonna talk about all the things, mostly pertaining to what this week will lead with. Nina and Drew. No. That okay. It felt so jarring to me when they slept together, and I don't have as much faith in these writers as I did when I heard that they were jumping on board, because the show seems so weird right now. Like all the characters are obviously taking extreme, they're zigzagging into completely different directions that we've seen them in. Drew sleeping with Nina, I know that like they sort of were flirting with doing that, but just in how it happened, it didn't make sense how it happened. I think it should have happened eventually, but the way it happened, like just in like a hate sex kind of way, it just didn't make sense to either one of those characters. Especially with how obsessed she is with Sunny. The show's upside down. It really is. And like just all these sort of ways that these characters are acting all of a sudden, I don't understand. Kind of switching things up, I don't understand what they're doing with Ava right now. Ava is probably the most confusing character for me at the moment. I can't figure out what these writers are trying to do with this character. Because I think people, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that people thought maybe Ava was working with Valentine. Clearly it's not the case, because Ava, she went to try to use Sunny's pills to get herself to sleep. And of course, we learned that Valentine got some of them replaced with placebos to sort of get him off balance. Clearly Ava didn't know that. And now she's like curious as to why the pills didn't do anything to her. And I think she's going to take them to a doctor to get them tested. But also, she seems to be kind of lying to Nina and maybe wanting Sunny for herself. Like acting like she's advocating for them, but like she straight up lied to Nina saying, oh yeah, if you give the hotel back to Jason, like that'll go into Sunny's good graces, when she knows damn well that Sunny hates Jason's guts right now. Like I don't know. And then of course you have Christina, who's very suspicious about Ava, and that doesn't make sense. Like, I know that Christina obviously has reasons to dislike Ava. So does everyone. But I don't know. Like, Ava hasn't done anything that she can see that seems suspicious, right? So some of it's just really confusing. GH is turning into a rom-com. Right now, the show is in a transitional period where we are still finishing up those other stories. I know that, but like, it's just, some of it's just really, they could have went with the follow through a bit better regardless, because we've seen transitions before and they didn't seem as like extreme as this. Maura West deserves better than what GH does to her. Ava hasn't been written well in 7 to 8 years. It's true. I think like the best thing that they've done for Ava over the years, in recent years, is her relationship with Trina, and that's about it. Let it be, remember that in Ava's eyes, in Christina's eyes, she raped her father. Did she though? I mean, I know that Sonny was off his meds, but I don't think Ava knew that. There's just clearly an attraction there that they just got off of their thing, and on top of AJ's grave, no less. But I don't know. I wouldn't consider it that. New writers are political and really into the drama. I don't know about that. I mean, the show hasn't seemed more dramatic to me. It just seems very jolted and choppy. You guys need to hire Maura West with a good meaty storyline. I mean, Maura is so talented, and she is not utilized in the way that she could be. Time will tell. I need my lethal take no prisoners Ava back. I don't mind Ava having a good side now and having a good relationship with Trina. I don't necessarily want to see Ava back in the mob or anything, but I do want to see sort of bold, badass Ava come into play. Yeah, Ava's having those meds tested. Yeah, it was just like, you notice like the eerie music that they're playing around her, and then also why is she lying to Nina, and like, does Ava have feelings for Sonny, or is she like acknowledging that he's going through some things and either taking advantage of that or worried about that? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't read the situation. And I think in a storyline like this, I don't think it's very smart to have is she playing him or isn't she? Like, I think this is a story where they need to really show what Ava's motives are in this situation. Can't wait to see Ava play with Nina. Oh, man. Well, I mean, okay, assuming that Ava gets them tested and realizes that these are placebos, I would hope that Ava brings that to Sonny's attention. But at the same time, we know that just some of the pills were replaced with placebos, not all of them. So the pills that she has, there could be nothing wrong with. Because she doesn't know. I don't want Ava to have real feelings for Sonny. I don't either. I really don't either. My last question of the night. I think if they're selling the seeds for Drew to sleep with Willow and Nina, I have my mother and daughter. Oh, I don't know. I don't. Michael, I feel like at this point, Michael would have to do something pretty bad for Willow to go running into another man's arms. And like, what's the worst that Michael can do to her at this point that she hasn't already stomached already? Because I think Willow deserves better than what Michael does. He does things behind her back. He forces her into situations she doesn't want to be in, and she's just ride or die in it, you know? Thanks, Edmund. But yeah, also, I love Ava's new sexy hair. Yeah, actually, yeah, hers. I don't hate the style of hair. It's like longer. It's more like, it's fluffed more. I think, I don't know what it is, but it feels like they're dressing the GH cast better lately, as they should be, and I appreciate that. Like even Maxie's looking a bit more fashionable these days, and like better makeup and better clothing, and I hope that it keeps up. Nina was so self-centered she didn't even realize Curtis could walk. I didn't even notice that, but you're right. She didn't say a damn thing about it. The dosage was so weak, that's why it didn't affect her. No, like, we know that there's placebos in there. GH has new directors too. That I caught. And new scriptwriters as well. Yeah, the show is definitely being directed in a different way than it used to be. Yeah, Maxie is looking good. She's looking fantastic lately, and I'm here for it. Yeah, GH has new directors too. Yeah, like you could tell in the way like certain camera angles are now. Like there's definitely a mix-up more than we realize. I know that we kind of talked about some of the writers being replaced. Obviously, there's new head writers, but there's new script writers, and certain script writers have been let go, and there's different things going on behind the scenes. But we're clearly not privy to all of it because everything is looking a little bit different, including the hair and makeup and the costumes and the camera angles, and so like we're seeing a lot of different things, and I hope it works out for GH in the long run. I'm just worried that it's not going as well as it should be right now. I love when Ava said, "Who am I kidding?" and threw back more pillows. Yeah. I honestly, that episode, I was giggling. I was like, we really had a whole segment of Ava not being able to sleep. Like that, a whole episode where she's just roaming around the house looking for pills to make her go to sleep. Oh, man. But yeah. I'm worried about GH. There are some things that I'm obviously enjoying, like the new directing and the costumes and the makeup, and the cast is looking a lot better these days. And then hopefully it'll gradually sort of come together everywhere else too. That's my hope. I don't want GH to fail, obviously. I want GH to succeed and be better than it was, and to improve and to make it exciting to watch the show again. But I gotta say, the Jason stuff is not winning me. It's not winning me over at all. I'm not interested in any of it, and it's unfortunate because it's cool that we have Steve Burton back. But I find it interesting that in today's episode they kind of Jason stated nothing, I like how we are now, which implies that they're not going to go with Charlie, which is a very interesting road to take. Will they go the John and Carly route? Who knows? They have chemistry, but Laura Wright has chemistry with everybody. That's just how she rolls. Lucy needs to be on the Cartoon Network. Lord, her talking about herself, even that kind of annoyed me. I'm like, listen, I know that Lucy is generally self-centered and a bit of an airhead, but she knows that selling the product is the most important thing. So her just going on and on about all her other ventures and avoiding the topic of the product was ridiculous to me. And it got Sasha back into the Deception fold, at least for the one appearance. It just felt a little bit silly that they made this whole big stance. As soon as the new writers kicked in, Sasha left Deception, and now all of a sudden she's going back to Deception. Yes, she's not the face of it anymore. She's probably likely just going to be the product promoter, And you know, they had her in no makeup and she still looked beautiful and promoted the product. So I guess she's gonna be back there. Carly is a Karen clone. Is she? Yeah, Maxie's got her hair color back. Sick of Lucy and Carly. Okay, that's cool, Jacarius. The next GH review for you. Maxie needs to give Lucy another good talking to. Yeah, she really does. Cody don't deserve no love interest. I'm okay with Cody and Sasha still. I like them. I just, you know, they need to be doing more than throwing back hay in the stables. What are they going to do with Lois? I don't know. I mean, once the wedding is over, I mean, I'm glad that we still have her. I love watching Lois. I think that she's great every time. Rena Sofer, she's brilliant. But yeah, once she doesn't have anything to focus on after Brooklyn gets married and goes on her honeymoon, like, what will they do with her? I'd love Lois to kind of get back into the music scene and work with Brooke in the music portion. Like seeing her talk about like stage lights and everything while she was at Home and Haven or whatever it's called. Like, it made me want to see Lois in work mode again. Lois should stay. I want her to stay. I don't know if she will stay, but I want her to stay. Good to know, Jacarius. Cool. Loving Tracy and Gregory. He really calms her down. Yeah. I do like Tracy and Gregory too. Like, it's obviously not going to last very long, but their relationship has been fun to watch. And we're going to see Alexis have her hearing soon and most likely get her law license back. I look forward to the day where she gets her license back and she tells Nina to suck it and just leaves the office and leaves the invader flailing in the wind. Oh man, there's always the next review. But anyway, don't really have much more to say on the GH front. Again, I want to hold out hope that they're going to make the show a bit more watchable and not as jarring as the weeks roll on. Lulu needs to wake up soon. I agree. Alright, have a good night, Jacarius. Yeah, I'm going to end my stream here too, you guys. Thanks for indulging me and talking about my music stuff. Like, I know you guys are generally here for General Hospital, and I love General Hospital. I just, you know, this is like my last day before going back to like normal reality. So I just wanted to be able to kind of talk about it. I'm glad to be back to Edmund. So yeah, thanks for indulging me in that. And, you know, I've got the bug to do more, and I'm gonna try to get more songs out there and maybe look into making an EP. We'll see. Time will tell. And of course, doing more shows. One could be in the works already. Stay tuned. Yeah. I'm not gonna live stream later on this week until Sunday. We're gonna go back to General Hospital after show, like the classic recap in the show. Like sticking to the old school ways for that. And then the following Wednesday, the reactions will be back as well. I don't know if I'm going to be reacting or just like chit-chatting, checking in about GH, but there will be Wednesday and Sunday streams again. So stay tuned for that. And thanks, Edmund. Yeah, the performance picks, yeah. It's nice to see them, and like it was nice to see other people take them. Yeah. And if you haven't checked out the video, I did post a video clip of the performance on the channel. It has little bits and pieces of Madness, Lose Yourself to Dance cover, and the new single. So, and if you haven't streamed the new single, it's on all the music platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Desert, like all the things. TikTok even. It's weird. It's on there too. All right. But yeah, good night, everyone. I will catch you guys this Sunday. If you liked the live stream, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will catch you guys on Sunday for a full-on classic recap. Good night, everyone. Have a good rest of your week. Mwah. Peace out.